Hello friends and welcome to Marie Green Yoga here on YouTube. This is our 30th video in a series of PilatesFusion and Pelvic Clock. So what we're doing today, I promised in yesterday's class that we are going to go through four different pelvis clock work, and then we're going to do some bridging, and we're going to keep it today for that and kind of be able to wrap up this whole 30 days with 4 different exercises for our sacrum. And this class is for you, or session is for you, who would like to untie knots in your lower back, for your SI joints, for hip flexors, lower back, hips, anything that is within our lower part of the body, hip area. And this is something that has really helped me, so maybe this will help you. So today, 4 different pelvis clock work, and then we'll do some bridging to set it in stone, and then we move over to a yin yoga practice in the next session for today. Thank you for being here. Let's lay flat onto our back and bend our knees. Okay friends, here we are with our knees bent and our sacrum, the triangle bony part at the base of our spine, flat onto the mat. Lower back is slightly lifted, natural curve, shoulder blades on the mat and the back of the neck. The cervical spine is lifted off of the yoga mat. Arms are nice and long. We're going to work with the space between pubic bone, sit bones, and space right below the belly button. So we pull the lower abs in and make a nice big C curve, but we are calling it the pelvis clock work today. So now we have put our energy into the center ridge of our sacrum, right straight down from like an inch below the belly button, down to the front of sacrum. And then we'll go down to 6 o'clock spot, tip of the tailbone, and then we'll go back up to 12 o'clock, and to 6 o'clock, and to 12 o'clock, and to 6 o'clock. So we start right here, and we certainly have been in the other 29 videos with our PilatesFusion sessions. This has been to help us to even out and to loosen up perhaps one side more than the other. Sometimes we get overused in our SI joint area, sacral iliac area, and then there is this sometimes a little bit of a pain. And I found a few years ago that doing pelvic clock work really can help to untie those knots before we even start doing any other exercises or yoga or Pilates or even walking. And we'll do another 5 here, 12 o'clock, another 6, another 7, 5, 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And then we'll come back to neutral spine, lower back is lifted. We'll go 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, and 3 o'clock and 9, and 3 and 9, and 3 and 9. We get to push and pull diagonally onto our ligaments and tendons around our hips, hip socket, femur, and kind of our ball and socket joint on the side, the whole triangle bony part at the base of the spine, lower abs, our hip flexors that goes from adductors to lower back. We'll do 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, another 8 here, and 7, and 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Come back to neutral spine. We'll go back to 6 and 12, and we'll focus on the pelvis clock today. So we come back to 12 o'clock spot, lower abs are working, to 6 o'clock, and to 12 o'clock, and 6 o'clock, and 12 o'clock. So this class is for you who have a little slight nagging pain in your SI joint, and want to loosen it up, or even out, even for right and left side in our pelvis. We'll do 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. We'll do another 8, 7. Lower abs are working only to move our pelvis. 6, 5, 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And then we'll come back to our sacrum. Lower back is lifted, and we'll do 3 and 9, and 3 and 9, and knees are straight up. This might feel like it has some slight adjustments for knees, for hips, lower back. We do 3 and 9, and 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 8 more. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then from there, we'll come to our 12 o'clock spot and go around the whole sacrum, and the whole sacrum, and the whole sacrum. And we keep on rolling on the triangle bony ridges for our sacrum. Knees are straight on up. And we keep on going for another 5 laps here. Make it about 10. Another 4 clockwise. Another 3. And another 2. And 1 more. Come to 12 o'clock, other direction. We'll go counterclockwise on our triangle bony part, and we'll keep on massaging the sacrum, untying knots, ligaments, tendons, for rotators, glutes, hip flexors. Keep on going, really finding those ridges on the sacrum. We'll do another 5, another 4, and another 3, and another 2, and last one, and coming back to neutral spine with sacrum on the mat. And we take our right foot flat on the mat and left heel outside on the mat. We're going to go from 11 o'clock to 5 o'clock. 11, 5. Now we get some good diagonal work. We warmed everything up, ligaments, tendons, diagonal, transverse, and we're going to push that left heel out, and then we'll come back up towards the 11 o'clock spot. We'll go out to 5 o'clock and come back up to 11 o'clock. So if you were to see your pelvis as a clock, we'll go kind of clockwise at the moment. We'll do 11 and 5, and 11 and 5. So the femur is kind of stuck into the hip socket, and it's being moved just by really engaging into lower abs and engaging into transverse and obliques and moving our hips and starting to really get some good blood flow for ligaments and tendons and loosening up any tight areas in the lower back. We'll keep on going for another 8. We'll do 11 and 5, 7, 11 and 5, 6, 11 and 5, 4 more, 5 more. Now we do 4 more, and 3 more, and 2 more, and last 1. And then we'll come back into center, and then we'll come to the second side. I switch my direction to have some space for my right leg to be outside of the mat. So we have the knees bent, take the right leg out. Now we have 1 o'clock and 7. So we push out through the 7 o'clock spot and back up to 1, and 7 and 1, and 7 and 1. And we keep on going, 7 and 1. And after done doing 6 and 12 and 3 and 9 and circles. When we come to these diagonal moves, this is where sometimes there can be some good releases in the SI joint and things might fall into place. And the little tiny nagging pain in the SI joint might vanish away. It takes some time to dig in there. We'll keep on going, setting the lower back free from any uncomfortableness. We keep on going, 1 and 7, 1 and 7, and 1 and 7, and 1 and 7, and again 1 and 7, 5 more, and 4 more, and 3 more, and 2 more, and last 1, and then we'll come back on to the sacrum. Take your arms out to the side, windshield wiper your knees side to side. This will be 3 and 9, and a whole lot of the entire clockwork diagonal to the other side, and we'll come up and over second side. I'm hoping that it's a new sense of freedom in the lower back. We'll buffer it in by squeezing the glutes, the rotators. The lower abs can be active, hands nice and long next to your hips, and from there we'll take our head down, press the shoulder blades down, ankles and knees are stacked, arms are nice and long. Lower back is lifted, neutral, natural curve, and then we'll engage abs and glutes and squeeze the sacrum up to a bridge, and then we'll take it back down. And after loosening up all of the parts that supports the hips, just a whole lot of straight, diagonal, transverse. Now we get to strengthen those muscles and ligaments and tendons, and perhaps micro adjusting into how sacrum supports our lower back. And we'll keep on going for another 10, lift and squeeze and lower, and lift and squeeze and lower, and lift and squeeze and lower, and lift and squeeze and lower. Squeeze glutes, lower abs. Another 4 here, and another 3, and again another 2, and 1 more. Hold it up like a nice angle from knees to hips to shoulders, and just small pulses up to fully engage all of our glutes and making them strong to support our sacrum, which will help us to also have a nice freed up lower back, and the hip flexors don't have to do all this sitting and standing and walking. We can use glutes and also our quads and our core. We'll do 10 more, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Bringing your sacrum back down, hands on to the base of the femurs, and then we'll press the femurs away and create some more space, some micro adjustments for lower back. And slowly come back over to these two chests. Sacrum down, lower back lifting off of the mat. Roll to the side to keep that lower back nice and plugged in after our work. Let's take a downward facing dog. Spread your fingers and pedal your heels down. Lift your sacrum higher than your lower back. Inhale and exhale. And slowly come down onto your knees And I would like to thank you for joining me for this session today. For our pelvis clock work, we did 4 different exercises for our SI joint, lower back, rotators, hip flexors, hip sockets, lower abs, all of that. And then we did some glutes to really strengthen those parts that we loosened up, so we can strengthen them so they can find a whole new perfect place to support us from, with freedom for our lower backs. And I hope this helped you. This was the 30th of our pelvis clock work. The other ones have a whole lot of more ab work with them, but today is our last session in this series, so I'm going to end it with pelvis clock only. And session after this, we meet for yin yoga. I hope to see you there. Thank you so much. Have a great day.